All right, good morning, trade pros. Welcome to our morning market update for Wednesday, April 18th. It is George Papazov from Trade Pro Academy. I hope you guys have had a great day. I hope everything's going well. We got a lot to cover in today's agenda. We're going to talk about North Korea. We're going to talk about Tesla, crude oil inventory, and a ton of other things as well, plus today's economic calendar. All right. So first and foremost, some key earnings from last night that you need to be aware of. CSX came out. It blew away earnings, 5.1% increase on a turnaround effort being on track. So their turnaround transition plan was received well. Goldman Sachs up 1.6, likely pausing a buyback. However, they said so they're not going to buy their shares. IBM missed and got some weak guidance, down almost 6%. Johnson & Johnson down almost 1%. United Health up 3.6%, and United Continental is flat following higher fares. All right, so all in all, some pretty decent earnings. The earnings season is starting out pretty good for the companies. We can't deny that. In the overnight markets, in the session of Asia, can't talk today, sound like Yoda. In the Asian trading session, Japan's up 1.4%. Hong Kong is 0.7%. 0.8% is up China. Just that was a Yoda joke. India is down 0.2. So all in all, Asian markets fairly bullish. In Europe, at midday, London's flat. Paris is up 0.8. Frankfurt's up 0.4%. And here at the futures session in the United States, Dow Jones is up 0.2. S&P is up 0.2. Nasdaq's up 0.2% also. All right, so we've had some pretty bullish reaction to this market. We're going to talk about why and what's taken place over the last 24 hours that's eased off the fear and put some of that money away from fear. It's taken it away from the fear assets and put it into the risk-driven assets like equities, and we'll talk about why in a few moments' notice. One of the big gainers here is crude oil, up 1.2% overnight, pushing to 67.30, and that's based on a report that came out yesterday at 4:30. Now, as you guys know, every Tuesday at 4:30 we get the API inventory report that shows a stockpile of crude oil and the change in crude oil supply. It's not a demand number, it's a supply. If there's lesser supply or more supply in relation to expectations. And then at Wednesday morning, like today, we're treated to the all-important Department of Energy inventory report. And this is the one day of the week where within 1 hour you could make your entire weekly profit within 1 hour of one stinking day. That's how good this report is. There's a lot of volatility. Crude oil is very predictable in how it moves. It's a huge opportunity. So yesterday, it came out at minus 1 million barrels versus an expectation of plus 1.8, which means a draw, which means there is a decrease in supply, which means prices should probably go up based on basic economics. Gasoline's down 2.5 million versus a plus 2 expectation, or a plus 2 prior number rather, and distillates was down as well. So all across the board, we had bullish numbers, and crude oil rallied out of the gate on that. Despite the fact there's some geopolitical tensions in crude oil, we've been saying that in the room, and I mean, one of my colleagues here, that one of the traders in the room mentioned that, on fundamentals, oil is strong, and I agree with him 100%. All right, so despite those geopolitical tensions, there's no signs of inventories decreasing, and the fact, or stockpiling rather, the fact that they're decreasing has put a lot of a bullish drive into crude oil, and I think crude oil can continue to the upside, and the fade trade is over. Now you just got to look at pushing this thing a little bit higher. 65.50 was our first support, and we pretty much got that down to the penny, and now we rotate, and we're going to probably move higher, which is good news for crude oil. It's a good outlook. Crude oil moves positively correlated to equities. So if crude oil continues to go up, equities should get dragged up with it. OPEC and Russia are due to meet in Saudi Arabia this week at some point, and that's interesting discussion that's going to be had. Look for some news squawks relating to that. We might get some volatility in the oil market. And they're going to talk about production cuts. And despite the fact that this production cut agreement has already eliminated a lot of the issue and pushed prices up like it was intended to, they're still talking about potential extension beyond 2018. So you guys don't know, OPEC and non-OPEC producers have come to an agreement together, basically OPEC and Russia, to limit the amount of output they make in oil, how much they supply the market. And these limits were designed to help push price higher. When we're trading into the $30 a barrel range, we've since doubled on that price target. So, I mean, mission successful and accomplished. The problem with that is this higher oil price has held back the same people who were responsible for the price increase from making money because they've committed to not selling more as much as they could. They said, I'll sell a limited quantity. So who's selling the rest of the oil to meet the supply, or the demand rather, globally? United States. And that's been a double-edged sword. Okay, so that's what you got to know there. Gold is flat. Bitcoin's up 2.7%. And I'm telling you guys, I think Bitcoin's going to make a drive to 12,000 from here, from 8,100. Bitcoin continues to rally. We're seeing some volume coming on the upside, and that's a positive note. Today's economic calendar: at 10:30, we have the Department of Energy petroleum inventories. 2 p.m., Fed's beige book. 3 p.m., Fed's Dudley speaking on economic outlook and monetary policy at some summit. I don't even know where. Consumer prices rose 2.5% for the year ending March in the UK, and that's what caused the pound to drop. All right, there was an expectation of a decrease of, let me tackle that again. There was less of an expectation for a rate hike. So the odds of a rate hike decreased because consumer inflation fell in the UK and across Europe overnight. And that means the inflation story is not supporting the interest rate hikes, which means the pound's going to fall down, because less interest rate means less hot flow of international investors into the pound. It becomes less desirable to hold because the interest rate payout is less now for the forecasted future. Therefore, the pound dropped a lot, almost 100 pips. A pip in currency trading is like a tick in futures. So big moves in the currency market before the open. If you want to watch the BP6 or the 6P or 6B, I don't know how some platforms are different, futures, today's going to be a very important day. Okay. All right, one other thing. CIA Director Mike Pompeo traveled to North Korea a few weeks ago to meet Kim Jong-un. Donald Trump just confirmed this. So if you guys will remember, at one point, a couple months ago, it looked like we were on the brink of nuclear war and just destruction, all right? Kim Jong-un was saying the CIA is trying to assassinate him, and they're testing these missiles and talking about putting warheads and payloads on them and reaching California. It was just a bunch of tension. And now, all of a sudden, the CIA directors met with Kim Jong-un, which is the highest level meeting between the two nations since 18 years ago. This is putting a lot of positive sentiment to the market. This is saying, hey, look, we lost one of the fear aspects of what was out there. This was priced in. The Kim Jong-un news was priced in on the downside. We lost one of the engines for the bears, so this plane's going down. And, I mean, it's not going down, but let's just rally up a little bit, right? So when you lose a negative sentiment that's been weighing on the market's shoulders, there's a little bit of a relief. So you're getting a relief rally, and that relief rally is stopping out some short sellers that got trapped near the lows. How can you confirm that? You can confirm that by looking at the volume. The volume's weak as equity prices are going up. That's a traditional and classical short squeeze and relief rally. Now, if you start to see volume increase on the rally, now you got something real here going on. That's true love. All right. True love at first sight. So yeah, that happened. And what day was it? We don't know. They're not going to tell you. It's a CIA. Kim Jong-un is due to meet with South Korea on April 27th. So there's a little bit of dialogue that's been opened up. This is big news. And we think that this is going to lead to some kind of agreement, which is a huge relief for the market. No more nuclear war. Now we can focus on the trade war instead, which is still ongoing. You don't hear about it in the media, but it's still ongoing, and it's a fact. Last but not least on today's update, you know what? No, that is the last thing. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's morning market update, and I hope that you had a chance. Wait, did we say? Yeah, we said Tesla in the title. All right, we got to talk about this. Tesla shooting to more than double the Model 3 production. Yesterday, we talked about Tesla. We said they're going to halt their production line. Now they're saying they're going to double it. So Elon Musk doubles down. He made some interesting comments. So they have a target to achieve 5,000 units per week in June of the Model 3. So they need to. Tesla's an interesting case study. Tesla's not a case study of not being able to find customers. Tesla's a case study of not being able to create enough supply to meet the demand. And if there's one surefire way for a business to get absolutely crushed, it's actually not being able to find clients. That's the easy solution. You get some financing, dump it in ads, try a new strategy, try a new system. There's hope. The surefire way to bury a company into the ground is to not be able to produce enough to meet demand. All right, that's the surefire way, because competitors are sneaking up on Tesla. Yeah, it's still a cool company with a cool car, but I mean, competition's creeping up. And this is the interesting thing. This is what Elon Musk said. A fair criticism leveled at Tesla by outside critics is that you're not a real company unless you generate profit. So Elon Musk just had that sudden realization this morning. He woke up out of bed and he said, a fair criticism leveled at Tesla. I don't know why that's how I picture Elon Musk talking to himself. And yeah, absolutely. If you're not making money, you're not a company. However, Elon Musk is in good company. There's a lot of companies out there that aren't making money and they're still companies that are worth billions on the stock exchange. So it's your guys' era right now. It's the technology's era. And I'm not even, I don't know how people are going to feel about this, but I'm going to just go ahead and say it. I'm getting the feel of 2001. I really am. Think about this. Technology companies are leading the way. The top 10 holdings of the majority institutional companies are in the 5 darling stocks that do absolutely nothing. They just basically sell your information. So we become a massive ad agency online in the face of convenience and being socially connected. Socially connected, so you share more, so that data is exploited to make a profit. I would love to see a subscription model from Facebook and see what happens to their user growth. Peace out, Facebook. The second they announce, let's just say it's $9.99. In fact, I want to ask you guys, if Facebook costs $10 a month, would you subscribe? Can you please put that in the comments? I'd love to do a little Trade Pro Index. Answer in the comments right now. If Facebook was $10 a month, would you subscribe to it? And be honest. If you would, I'm not going to knock on you. That's great. That's amazing. You'll then be able to save your data and own your own data instead of giving it away to advertisers. Anywho, point I'm trying to make is this feels like 2001. I'm not saying this market's going to crash like 2001, party on, but just remember when the party gets really good, you have one last drink and you head to the code check. All right, guys, have yourselves a great day. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Manage your risk, trade like a trade pro. You got some good things coming out. Oil inventories at 9 or at 10:30 Eastern. We're trading that in our room, and I suggest you guys join us if you want to have a look at how 1 hour on one day could be responsible for your entire weekly paycheck and then some. All right. I think that's a good way to leave it off. Goodbye. Take care. Have a great day. All right, trade pros, let's map out some levels and make bank here. Yeah, Sergio brings up Amazon. Says, look at Amazon's losing money, keeps going, and it's going at record valuations. And Jeff Bezos is the richest man, and his company's never turned a dime of profit. That's the funny part. Anywho, let's not laugh at other people's success. Let's make our own. Oh, sorry, I still got YouTube on here. Goodbye, YouTube. Have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.